Good morning. Welcome to Carmel Valley Community Chapel on this first Sunday of Advent. I don't have my reader for this morning, so I unfortunately will have to be the one-man show for today. I want to thank Marge Brett for preparing refreshments this morning. And I invite us all to join after the service next door in Fellowship Hall for some good food and good conversation. We begin this morning with lighting our Advent candle. This is the beginning of a 4-week period of waiting and preparation for something very special, a birth. And this morning our theme is hope. We hope in the coming of the light, even in the dark of night. We hope in the birth of love and justice in our world, even in the midst of violence and inequality. We hope in the possibilities for change, growth, and renewal within ourselves and within our community, even in the midst of loss and struggle. We hope in the coming of Spirit, in the love that binds us all together, and in the goodness we have to share with the world. As we light the first Advent candle, we dare to live with hope throughout this sacred season. Would all who are able please stand and join in saying the unison prayer printed in the bulletin. God of hope, who inspired the prophets of long ago, inspire us today with a hope-filled vision of the future. May this vision lead us to live lives of hopeful action on behalf of all those who yearn for a better world. Fill us with a deeper awareness of your presence, that we may be the change we seek. Amen. Let us join together in singing the first verse of O Come, Emmanuel, number 211 in your hymnal. Please be seated. So this morning, as we begin Advent, I wanted to invite us all into a meditation service. Advent for us for decades, maybe centuries, has been a 4-week period leading up to Christmas. But earlier than that, Advent was more like a Lenten period of 7 weeks. And it was a time of learning and preparation and teaching and being together as a community. This is also the beginning of our Christian liturgical year. So in a way, this is like New Year's Day. And it's almost, well, it is, not almost, it is a shift for us in the church. And I think these times of transition are helped by pausing, breathing, slowing down. And that's what I invite you to do this morning during our meditation service. I think if your schedules are anything like mine, this is a crazy time of year. And it's important during these busy times of year to slow down and consider what is really important to us in life and in how we're living our life today and how we want to live it tomorrow. So I invite you into your own meditation reflection this morning as we hear 3 poems with music interspersed and with a lot of silence. I invite you to take this silence and make it what you need it to be. If it's just time to breathe and relax and slow down, if it's time to pray silently, if it's time to reflect, just be open to what you need today in this meditation. There are 3 poems that I chose very intentionally because of the arc that they give to our meditation time. The first poem is titled, "I Am Clearing a Space." And the poem does invite us to clear a space in our heart, in our mind, in our spirits. A wonderful way to begin meditation. Our second poem is a meditation on what it means to hope by a Latin American theologian in the 20th century, Reuben Alves. And then the final poem is by Wendell Berry, an American poet. And it's a poem about the slow and beautiful growth of trees. So I invite you now to settle into the pew where you are sitting, to get comfortable, to focus on your breathing, just be aware of it. Invite your mind and your body to slow down, to get ready for a long exhale this morning. And after a few minutes of silence, I'll begin with the first poem. I Am Clearing a Space by Morgan Farley. I am clearing a space here where the trees stand back. I am making a circle so open the moon will fall in love and stroke these grasses with her silver. I am setting stones in the 4 directions, stones that have called my name from mountaintops and riverbeds, canyons and mesas. Here I will stand with my hands empty, mind gaping under the moon. I know there is another way to live. When I find it, the angels will cry out in rapture. Each cell of my body will be a rose, a star. If something seized my life tonight, if a sudden wind swept through me, changing everything, I would not resist. I am ready for whatever comes. But I think it will be something small, an animal padding out from the shadows, or a word spoken so softly I hear it inside. It is dark out here and cold. The moon is stone. I am alone with my longing. Nothing is happening but the next breath and the next. What is Hope? By Reuben Alves. What is hope? It is a presentiment that imagination is more real and reality less real than it looks. It is a hunch that the overwhelming brutality of facts that oppress and repress is not the last word. It is a suspicion that reality is more complex than realism wants us to believe, and that the frontiers of the possible are not determined by the limits of the actual, and that in a miraculous and unexpected way, life is preparing the creative events which will open the way to freedom and resurrection. The two, suffering and hope, live from each other. Suffering without hope produces resentment and despair. Hope without suffering creates illusions, naivete, and drunkenness. Let us plant dates, even though those who plant them will never eat them. We must live by the love of what we will never see. This is the secret discipline. It is a refusal to let the creative act be dissolved in immediate sense experience and a stubborn commitment to the future of our grandchildren. Such disciplined love is what has given prophets, revolutionaries, and saints the courage to die for the future they envisage. They make their own bodies the seed of their highest hope. Slowly, slowly they return, by Wendell Berry. Slowly, slowly they return to the small woodland let alone. Great trees, outspreading and upright, apostles of the living light. Patient as stars, they build in air, tier after tier, a timbered choir. Stout beams upholding waves grace of song. A blessing on this. They stand in waiting all around, uprisings of their native ground, downcomings, the distant light. They are the advent wait. Sun and giving shade, their lives made, and is a benediction said over the living and the dead. In fall, their brightened leaves fly down, and we please to walk amazed. O light, come down to earth, be praised. At this point in the service, I invite us all to give as we are able, and my hope is that everyone will give with a joyful heart in gratitude for life. Please be seated. Let us join together in blessing these gifts. Through the offering of these gifts, may we become a more open people, open-minded in hearing your word and wisdom, open-hearted in healing a broken world, open-handed in heeding your call for charity and enacted love. With thanks for all good gifts, we present a portion of our substance and the whole of ourselves. Amen. At this point, I invite a time of sharing our joys and our concerns with the community. If there's anything you'd like to share, please get my attention and I'll bring the microphone to you. And if there's any way in which we all might respond in solidarity with your sharing, please let us know by closing with a phrase that we could repeat, something like, "Thanks be to God," or "God hear our prayers," or "Blessed be," or whatever. Is there anything folks have to share? Judy.
I would just like to share that today is Dan and my 63rd wedding anniversary. But I think that's where thanks be to God, because we have control over how long we're allowed to live or be together. And we really have lots of gratitude for that, because we made it through a lot of hurdles. And we're here, and we're still able to walk, and I think that's a really good thing. And our brains seem to still somewhat work, right? So thanks be to God.
Thanks be to God, and congratulations and happy anniversary. Yes, Susan.
This morning, as I was getting ready for church, I got an emotional phone call from Linnea, who that Aunt Betsy, my ex-husband's sister, passed away last night. And I guess Linnea had quite a conversation with Betsy last night, and she was expressing to me how much she's been feeling the love of all week. And she wanted me to offer prayers of thanksgiving for Betsy Ludwig and for the love of family. And I also want to give thanks. My granddaughter will be 20 this week, and we'll be celebrating this afternoon. And she is in a place of becoming, unfolding, and, you know, it's just a fabulous place to be, and I'm very grateful for her. So thanks be to God.
Thanks be to God. Thank you for sharing that, Susan. And let us all say, life of Betsy Ludwig, thanks God. I'm waiting because I'm thinking there's something I'm supposed to say. What it is. Not announcements I'm talking about. Coming later. Thank you. Carolyn Rice's birthday. So, yes. Thanks be to God. Well, if there's nothing more that folks want to share, I invite us all to join together for a few moments of silent prayer. And after a little bit of time has gone by, I'll invite us to join together in saying this, a new paraphrased version of the prayer of Jesus in the bulletin. Let us join together now in silent prayer. give you thanks for this time to gather together in reflection, for this to clear a space for what may yet be coming into the world, a little more of love and peace and justice and hope. We give thanks for this community, for this sacred season, coming together in celebrations, noticing the love of friends and family, giving thanks for life. Hear us now as we say this new version of that ancient prayer that our brother Jesus taught us to pray, saying, Great Spirit, loving parent, and source of all, in you we find heaven and holiness and hope for our world's renewal. May we today have food to eat, forgiveness to share, and justice for all creation. May we have strength in times of trial and oppression, loss and sadness, for it is in loving that we most know you and your glory forever. Amen. I have just two announcements to make. One, that we will have our annual congregational budget meeting this afternoon at 2 o'clock on Zoom. And I hope that you will all join us. It's very important that we have a quorum. If you're a member of the chapel and you're not able to be present, please proxy who will be there. And usually that works pretty well. We've been able to get a quorum that way. This Tuesday evening, we will have a live, not pre-recorded, meditation service on Zoom at 7 p.m. And the link will be going out to that on Tuesday afternoon. Are there any other announcements that folks have to make this morning? All right. Then I invite all able to please stand and join in singing our closing hymn, which is Toda la Tierra. That's the Spanish title. You're welcome to sing it in Spanish if you know the language, but I think most of us will probably go to English. And we'll sing the first 3 verses. All earth is waiting to see the promised one, and open for all the sowing of the Lord. May you go forth this day in peace and in hope for our world's renewal. for the love that we are all capable of, more than we realize, for the goodness and the blessing ever present, and for this short, sacred time that we have, which is our life. Go forth in peace and in hope. Amen.